You suddenly woke up. It wasn't a noise. It wasn't a nightmare. It was a clear, almost physical sensation that something important is happening around you right at this moment. Something that demands your total attention, but that you might be ignoring because you're distracted by the trivial. It's as if the very fabric of your reality is being delicately adjusted, the threads of your destiny being pulled taut to form a new pattern, and this shift generates a silent resonance that your body picks up before the rational mind. Do you feel it? It's not anxiety, it's a kind of gravitation, a gentle tug toward an inner window that's been left ajar. While you check your phone upon waking, plan your day in the shower, or mentally replay an old argument, a crucial conversation is taking place on the upper floors of your consciousness. This is not a message of catastrophe, but of convergence. Forces that have worked in secret for years, chance encounters that planted seeds, failures that redirected your course, moments of inexplicable beauty that warmed your soul, are reaching a critical point of synchronicity. The greatest risk is not a disaster, but a subtle disconnect. It's the risk of you, immersed in the buzz of the mundane, mistaking this signal of life for neural static and, with a sigh, rolling over and going back to sleep. Consider the texture of the last few months. How many times was a clear intuition, like a smooth stone in the flow of your thoughts, ignored because you were too busy being realistic? Remember that afternoon when the sudden urge to call a distant relative was smothered by the logic that it wasn't the right time? Or the creative solution to a problem at work that came to you during a walk, but you didn't write it down, trusting your memory to hold it, and it dissolved like smoke? These are not insignificant lapses. They are micro-disconnections. While your conscious attention is hijacked by the tyranny of the urgent, the boss's notification, the social media argument, the comparison to others' curated lives, a deep reorganization is underway in the basement of your existence. Relationships you considered stagnant are having their foundations. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. End of emotional rust without a word being spoken. Dormant talents, which you dismissed as childhood hobbies, are receiving small pulses of energy as if old circuits were being reconnected one by one. The most tangible proof isn't in a spectacular miracle, but in your own resilience. Think of the crisis that should have broken you. The loss, the betrayal, the frightening diagnosis. You are still here. But look closer. Notice the details you missed. The friend who showed up exactly when you could no longer bear the loneliness. The book that fell from the shelf, open to a page with a sentence that was the answer to a question you hadn't even fully formed. The strange relief that came after the fall, as if a burden you were carrying out of obligation and not destiny had finally been removed. This is not chance or blind luck. It is the signature of an intelligent care, a love that does not act in spite of your inattention, but weaves its protection in the gaps of it, in your moments of distraction. To be chosen, is not about exclusivity or superior merit. It's about responsiveness. It's like being a specific antenna, tuned to pick up a particular frequency of truth that the world, in its noise, needs to hear through you. This grants a quiet authority and a sacred vulnerability. Your decisions, therefore, are not just about you. They are junction points where the personal meets the transpersonal. The choice to forgive a small offense today may not change your day, but it breaks an internal cycle of contraction that, in months, would block your ability to receive a crucial opportunity. The decision to honor your weariness and say no to an empty social commitment may open the space of silence needed for a germinating idea, that project you've been putting off, to finally sprout. The wisdom to navigate this is not a manual to be studied. It is an inner voice with a unique timbre, a blend of deep peace and quiet conviction. Yet that voice is muffled not only by external noise, but by an imposed internal speed. Haste is a state of spiritual amputation. It severs you from your own center, causing you to confuse the urgent with the important, the cheap with the valuable, others' approval with self-fidelity. It makes you sign contracts with fear, thinking you're closing deals with security. Let's diagnose with more nuance. The first symptom, the feeling of being an extra in your own life, often manifests in daily rituals. You drive home but don't register the journey. You kiss your children goodnight, but your mind is on the spreadsheet at work. You consume experiences instead of living them. The second symptom, the fatigue of insignificant decisions, is a systematic drain. The mind is a tool of finite focus. By spending it choosing between 50 types of yogurt, debating online comments, or curating a perfect Instagram image, you are literally using the same neural energy that could be mapping the next courageous step in your career or repairing a fundamental misunderstanding in your relationship. The third symptom, mental noise, isn't just worry, it's an automatic narrative. It's the voice that, upon seeing a beautiful sky, immediately thinks it will rain tomorrow, turning beauty into utility. It's the constant replay of past humiliations, which keeps the nervous system in a state of chronic alert, numbing it to the delicacy of the present. The fourth symptom, meaningful coincidences or synchronicities, are the universe's language when common language fails. They are personal and coded. It might be the same word, say courage, appearing in the title of a book a colleague mentions, on a street sign you'd never noticed, and in the lyrics of a song playing on the radio, all in a single day. This isn't cheap magic. It's a sophisticated signaling system saying, pay attention to this concept. It is the key to what you are facing. The root cause is dual, operating on complementary levels. Neurologically, the brain is an excellent servant, but an inefficient tyrant when left unsupervised. Its default mode is energy conservation, creating habits so efficient they become invisible prisons. The neural pathway for the stress reaction is well paved. The pathway for the conscious pause is an underused trail, overgrown with weeds. When you live on autopilot, the amygdala, fear center, and the motor cortex, action, dominate, while the prefrontal cortex, vision, meaning, regulation, goes offline. Spiritually, this dispersion is a state of internal exile. Imagine your deepest essence is a constant source of light. Your attention is the beam of this flashlight. When you focus on fear, you illuminate and amplify the shadows. When you focus on lack, you illuminate the void. When you focus on the present with acceptance, you illuminate the path that is already there. The radio station of guidance is always broadcasting, but you, by feeding a frequency of anxiety or cynicism, create interference. The silent protection you've experienced, the miraculous detours, the words held back, is proof that the main signal still gets through, even through the noise. It's like a friend who keeps whispering guidance while you try to listen to an argument across the room. You only catch fragments, but enough to stay safe. The invitation now is a contract update. From passive beneficiary to collaborative partner, it is to take the helm of your flashlight. This shift does not begin in expensive retreats, but in the rehabilitation of your sensory perception. It's about reclaiming authority over where your senses point. Instead of drinking your coffee while swallowing thoughts about traffic, stop. Feel the warmth of the mug in your hands. Watch the steam rise in spirals. Notice the initial bitterness and the lingering sweetness. In those 20 seconds, you're not just drinking coffee, you are performing an act of sovereignty over your attention. You are telling your brain, this moment is worthy of presence. Do the same with the sensation of the shower water flowing down your back, the rough texture of the towel, the weight of your body in the chair. These are portals of anchoring. They pull you out of the abstract realm of worry, future and regret, past, and place you in the real kingdom of now. It is in this kingdom that the signals reside. An intuition does not arise as a flash during a panic attack. It arises as a calm wave during a moment of presence. The practice, therefore, is training for reception. The first exercise, 5 minutes of silent breath observation, is not to empty the mind. It is to become intimate with your own mental flow without drowning in it. By noticing, I am thinking about the bill to pay, you are creating a distance between you and the thought. You are not the thought. You are the awareness observing it. This micro-distance is where your freedom lives. The second step, the 3-second reflective question, is a power switch. Before replying to an angry email, before an impulse buy, before yielding to social pressure, this pause inserts a sacred space. In that space, you can access a deeper question. Does this action come from a place of integrity or insecurity? Does it expand or contract my energy? The third step, gratitude for invisible protections, reprograms your recognition system. Our brain has a negativity bias to keep us safe. Actively counterbalancing it is a revolutionary act. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what potential disaster was averted today without my knowledge? What misunderstanding did not escalate? What beneficial encounter was facilitated by a small delay? This is not illusory positive thinking. It is the recognition that your story is bigger than the visible events. Like the person who, after practicing this, didn't see their bank account change overnight, but began to notice how the right conversations arose at the right time, how inspiration for solving old problems came during peaceful walks, and how a sense of being guided replaced the old feeling of fighting the current. There is a formation, a gestation happening in your life. Ignoring it will not attract divine punishment, but will solidify a pattern of superficiality. The deepest regret is not for what you did, but for what you failed to be out of fear of paying attention. You don't need more tools, more courses, more ready-made answers. You need less interference. You need to deactivate the soul's multitasking mode, which tries to pray while planning dinner and reflects on purpose while scrolling a timeline. The stillness that will bring the answers is an active stillness, a deep listening. It is the stillness of one who turns off the engine to listen to the wind and discern in its whisper the direction. Every conscious act, from mindfully choosing what you consume to truly listening to someone, is a brick placed in the foundation of your new reality. Every act on autopilot is a vote for disconnection, which will lead to long, weary detours where you will achieve things that in the end will not echo in your soul. Therefore, at this silent crossroads, make a defining choice. Decide that you will honor the holy restlessness, not suffocate it. Decide to tune in, not with the anxiety of an omen seeker, but with the serene confidence of a navigator who knows the stars. Slow your inner world until you can perceive the space between your own thoughts. It is in that space that the whisper becomes clearer. Observe the patterns repeating in your days, the people who resonate with your deepest truth, the small invitations to courage you often postpone. You are chosen not for a pedestal, but for a partnership. It is a confirmation that your unique journey is a necessary thread in the great tapestry. The promised fulfillment is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of an unshakable peace in the eye of the storm. It all begins with a simple yet radical repositioning, turning the lantern of your attention from the external drama to your internal wisdom. The orchestration behind the scenes is already in its 10th symphony. The conductor is waiting. All that's left is for you to now tune attention. You need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.